Welcome to MaPS kind of live stream where we're going to show you just 15 minutes or so, a couple quick things you can do to get rid of noise removal. We're looking to do a few more of these so you guys can tune in and check out some cool stuff you may not know how to do in the Adobe Creative Cloud. Or if you have any projects coming up and you have some specifics, say how to colorize some footage in Premiere, or how to stabilize some footage, or how to do some speed ramping, feel free to send us a message or an email with your ideas and we can look at doing another short little seminar like this. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be running through how to get rid of background noise in an audio recording that you may have done. So what I've done here is I've got one little introduction here, and I'll play this through, so have a listen to this.
Dr. Ioannis had enjoyed a satisfactory day in which none of his patients had died or got any worse.
And now this is just recorded on a phone or on a Zoom H1 recorder. And what I've done is the original recording was actually really good. So I've added in all of this noise throughout the whole recording. And this is something that may happen if your audio device isn't as high quality, or maybe there was a lot of background noise in there. So here it is again. And then this is what it's going to look like once we're done.
Dr. Ioannis had enjoyed.
So you can see a big difference here is the background noise is gone. And you can actually see, as I click through, you can see the waveform here, and you can see all of this noise over here on the left and at the end. And you can actually see that because it's here in between the words, it's actually throughout the whole recording. So I'm going to show you how to quickly and easily get rid of that. So what we're doing is we're in Adobe Audition today, and I've just imported these AIF files. So this would be your recording files. And we're not opening these up in multi-track view as if you're doing multi-layered recordings. This is just the waveform view. So I double click on this, and I'm going to delete my repaired one because I don't want that distracting me. Okay, so I'll double click on this, and here is our recording here. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to show you how to remove the noise with one way. Click up on Effects. And the other thing I was going to tell you is we're recording this session, and both of these files that we're working with will send you all the link and the link to the recording of this session. So you don't need to take notes, just watch along. I nearly said, and enjoy the ride. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I nearly said that. So you'll have all the files and all of the screen capture done. So you can just follow this along later. Okay, so we're opening this up, and I'm going to click Effects, Noise Reduction, and the first one we're going to choose is Denoise. And you'll get a little pop-up here. And now, why Denoise is good is it's in Adobe Audition, and it's also in Adobe Premiere Pro. So this whole window here will look exactly the same. You can use it in Premiere, and I've used it a bunch in my video editing. If I've filmed an interview and there's a lot of background noise, you can use this effect as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push play.
Dr. Ioannis had.
And you can already tell that the noise is a lot better. Down here is a little power button. This toggles the effect on and off. So as I hit play, I'm going to hit this a couple times and you'll watch the difference.
Dr. Ioannis had enjoyed a satisfactory day in which none of his patients had died or.
Oh, that noise is so horrible. Okay, so what this has done is it's already applied the effect on here. And now down here we have processing focus. And if I move my mouse over these, you can see that it says focus on all frequencies, focus on the lower frequencies, mid, lower and higher frequencies. So depending on the type of noise where you are, sometimes it might be a lower kind of rumble. You may choose the lower frequency. But I'm just going to keep this one on focus on all frequencies here. So that's the frequencies that it's focusing on removing. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the amount here on the slider. And this is applying the amount of noise removal that's actually happening. So I'm going to leave the effect on. I'm going to hit play.
Dr. Ioannis had enjoyed a satisfactory day in which none of his patients had died.
So you can see the amount I apply changes the amount of noise removed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a little section over here, and I'm going to click this button here. And this is the loop button. So now when I push play, you're just going to hear the noise. And this is a way that you can focus on removing the noise and seeing the difference in the sound. So I'm going to take this up until I hear the noise totally disappear. About there. And what you want to do is you want to actually take down the slider just a little bit before the noise. I'll bring it in. About 50. About here is where I'd like it to be. So I'll stop it there. And now I'll have a listen to the rest of the audio.
Dr. Ioannis had enjoyed a satisfactory day in which...
And now one thing I want you to notice is, I'll remember this is about 65. I'll take this all the way up to 100 and you'll notice the vocal changes a little bit.
Dr. Ioannis had enjoyed a satisfactory day in which none of his...
It's super clean, there's no noise, but it sounds like the voice is a bit muffled or it's like sort of underwater. So this is the thing with noise removal, is it's removing these frequencies, but it's also removing those frequencies within the voice. It doesn't know that voice is different from background sound. So this is something you want to have good headphones in. I always use the headphones with the little rubber tips on them. That blocks out all background sound, so you can really focus on what you're doing. You want to play this back, and keep going.
Dr. Ioannis had enjoyed a satisfactory day in which none of his patients had died.
So about 70 seems right to me. Okay, so we've removed sound from here. What you can also do, a cool trick, is take it back here and you can click output noise only. So now Audition is going to only show you the output of the noise. So you can hear what you're actually removing.
Dr. Ioannis had enjoyed a satisfactory day in which none of his patients had died.
So you can see that it's actually removing a tiny bit off of the vocals there, and that's why the voice is sounding a little bit different at the end result. So I just like that feature. You can actually see what it's removing. We'll untick that. And now we're happy with our settings. So the last thing we need to do is click apply. And what I want you to do is watch over here, the noisy section over here. Watch what happens once I click apply. Bloop, it's all gone like that. So Audition's gone through and removed that. I'm going to hit play.
Dr. Ioannis had enjoyed a satisfactory day in...
Okay, that's super clean. So say we're done with that wave. I'm going to click File, and you would go Export, File, and you'd resave this recording as your new recording. Make sure to not save it over your original file, because that way you don't have the option to go back. So always save it as like version 1, version 2, do that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm going to undo, so we have our noise back. Okay, so that's the first step, pretty easy. Let's go to the next one. This is the next, sorry, that's the first option. This will be the second option. We'll go Effects, Noise Reduction, and this time we're choosing Noise Reduction Process. Okay, so it's a different kind of pop-up here. And the key to this one is that this is a little bit of a smarter way for Audition to remove the noise. Think of it sort of like a bit like AI. We're going to tell Audition, hey, this section here, I'd like you to listen to this, analyze it, and then apply that across the whole thing. So it's a little bit more of an intelligent way to remove that noise because it's looking for the duplication of this sound in the background. So this works really well if you have a constant humming in the background. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, you can see here that I've got this section of noise in the back there. And what I did is when I did my recording, I made sure to have a little bit of pre-roll. So there's a bit of pre-roll of empty space here with no talking and a little bit here of empty space with no talking. And what that does is that allows me to select this over here with the noise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag up the bottom here. So this little bottom section here, you can drag that up. I'll move this out of the way. And what you can see here, this is like a visual display of our recording. And how this works is it shows the low frequencies, which are these brighter orange ones down the bottom, and the higher frequencies, which are these higher ones up the top, like that. So if I push play, you can see all of this static here. This is what noise looks like. There's some lower noise here, there's some medium noise, and there's some high noise. So it's actually terrible noise because it's across all the frequencies.
Dr. Ioannis had...
And the other thing is, if I go over here, this little high frequency here, you can listen, this is going to be an S.
Ioannis had enjoyed...
So you can see here that this is a higher frequency. And judging on that, I would think that this is probably going to be an S, and this might be as well, or another high frequency.
Had enjoyed a satisfactory...
I apologize to your ears for doing this. So this shows that these are higher frequencies here. So this is actually a way that you can tell the kind of sounds that are coming out in the voiceover without actually listening to it. So what we're looking to do is we want to come over to the left side over here, and this is all of our noise. You can see here that there's a little tiny spike here with a different frequency. You might be able to hear. That's just a little breathe-in of the mouth. We don't want that. What we want is this clean sound over here. So I'm going to select this much, and we'll bring back down my window here. And now what we're going to do is click Capture Noise Print. And Audition's thought about it, it's listened to this sound, and it's recorded it, and now it's going to apply it. So we have some other sliders here. We have noise reduction, and we have reduce by. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play, let's isolate this much here, and we have our loop button turned on as well. And I'm going to play this, let it loop, and I'm going to change noise reduction. You have a listen to the difference.
Dr. Ioannis, Dr. Ioannis, Dr. Ioannis, Dr. Ioannis.
So you can hear that it basically gets rid of all of the sound. What I can do is I might take this down a little bit. I think it's a little bit high.
Dr. Ioannis.
Okay, so you can hear a bit of that warbly underwater sound. That's just the kind of side effect of doing noise removal. I'm also going to change the reducing by. This is how many decibels. I'm going to play this again.
Dr. Ioannis, Dr. Ioannis, Dr. Ioannis.
I might take this up a little bit.
Dr. Ioannis.
Okay, there's like basically no noise in the background there. Again, this has an on-off button, so as I play this, I'm going to turn this off and on. I'm going to change a different spot for you guys so you don't get driven crazy.
Had enjoyed a satisfactory day. Had enjoyed a satisfactory day. Had enjoyed a satisfactory day. Had enjoyed a satisfactory day.
Okay, that has done a big difference there. The other thing you might want to change is spectral decay rate, and this is how quickly the noise removal appears after, say, some words that isn't the noise. So keeping that at about 10 is totally fine. Okay, so let's see. We've done our capture noise print. We've done all our settings, and even though we don't have this selected, and there's no like activation highlighting saying you've already captured your noise print, you could at any point drag another capture noise print and try it again like that. But Audition's applied it. Now we just need to select the entire file, which will highlight this. So now this works differently than the other one. This is going to apply this effect over the whole file. If we wanted to, we could apply the effect just over a little bit. If you wanted to remove some noise from a specific part, we're going to select the entire file. And again, I'd like you to watch this side here with the noise. And it's super clean. And you can actually see, this is actually even better. I enjoy seeing down here, all of that noise is gone. There's a tiny, tiny bit down here. And you can see that it's super clean. Actually, can I just do undo? Yes, I can. Cool. You can see that all the noise is there still in the voice. And if I redo it, it's basically all solid black. So that shows it's gotten rid of the noise. Let's play that back.
Dr. Ioannis had enjoyed a satisfactory day in which none of his patients had died or got any worse.
That's worked so well. So again, now that I'm happy, I'd click File, Export File, and resave this as an updated version. Don't save over your original file, rename it. So the reason why this one was really good is it was super specific. It's a bit more intelligent. But what you need to do is when you're doing recording, always do some recording and get your talent or yourself, whoever's speaking, to not speak. Record 5 or 10 seconds of the background audio, and that allows you to have something to actually capture as a noise print. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about plosives. So plosive is when you're talking into a microphone, certain letters and forms that we do with our mouth for words, like P or B, like peanut butter, that would have two big explosions of air coming out of your mouth, hitting the microphone, and it sounds terrible. If you've ever blown into a microphone, it gives that horrible windy sound. So I think I've got some here. And again, I'm going to keep this spectral view up here.
Dr. Ioannis had enjoyed a satisfactory.
Okay, so I'll play that again. She says, Dr. Ioannis, and it's the Ioannis that has this air coming out.
Dr. Ioannis had Dr. Ioannis had
So it's about right there. And to find a little spot, pendulum back and forth. Okay, so that's what the little whooshing sound is. And it may be hard for you to see. I'm going to drag this up a little bit. So these are our lower frequencies, and that whooshing tends to be a lower frequency sound, a bit like a lower bass sort of wind sound. So what we're going to be looking for is within these orange sections down here. These are the lower frequencies. Like I explained before, the higher ones, these are kind of S's and T sounds. These will be the mid-range of the voice, and then these ones down here are going to be the lower ones. So we can actually edit this. If we chose this and deleted this, or say turn down the volume on this section, it would turn down the volume on all of these frequencies here. So when you're selecting a part of your waveform up here, it looks like you're just grabbing a small piece. You're actually selecting all of these frequencies. So we would basically mute it or take down the volume on all of them. We don't want to do that. So that's why the spectral view is helpful. We can actually choose a certain section to reduce the volume of and leave all of the other frequencies as they were. So there's a teeny tiny, I'm going to zoom up here. There's a teeny tiny little hill here. It's really small. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Lasso Tool, which is up the top here. Same kind of tool in Photoshop. And we're going to draw a little shape. And I can see that it's a little bit of a hill mountain here. So I'm going to go like this and release. And you'll notice you get a pop-up. And this pop-up allows you to adjust the decibel of this little tiny section. So I'm going to do this worse. Let's go 15 and hit return. And now when I push play, hopefully we've turned up that whoosh and it's going to sound terrible.
Dr. Ioannis had...
Yep, okay, that's even worse. Okay, I'm going to undo that. Ah, so actually, if I zoom in, can you see this orange little hill now is a lot brighter and it's a lot bigger because we've turned up that frequency. I'm going to go Command Z or Control Z to undo that. And I'm going to draw back over it again. And I'm going to make this -15. Let's go -10 first. And I'm hitting return after doing this. You can use this little slider wheel as well if you want. -10, let's play this again.
Dr. Ioannis had...
Oh, it's still there just a little bit.
Dr. Ioannis...
Tiny. You can see a little teeny tiny little hill here. I'm going to select that. And let's take that down another 10. Try it again.
Dr. Ioannis...
Oh, it's still there. Okay, so maybe my selection was a little bit too small. Let's go here and let's go -15. I might have actually turned it up before. What you do when you're doing these changes, make sure you do negative or positive correctly. It still trips me up. And you'll be like, that doesn't sound better, that sounds worse. And it might be because you've turned it up. Okay, we'll try this again.
Dr. Ioannis...
Oh, that sounds pretty much perfect.
Dr. Ioannis had...
There we go. Okay, so that's remove that plosive.
Dr. Ioannis...
So that's something you can do in your recording. You listen back, good headphones as always, listen for any of those whooshes into the microphone for P's or B's or W sounds. And you can go through and manually select all of these little sections and reduce them down a bit like that. There's other methods for that, but this is a really quick and easy way to do that. And once you're done, you can select your whole recording and do File, Export, File, and save it again as the new recording like that. You can also apply any noise filtering that you want on here using the other methods that we have. And I think that's about it. So what I want to go through is a few ways for you guys to get better recording. So when you're doing recording, you want to think about the space you're recording in. Is there a lot of background noise? Are there people in the background? Is there, say, an air conditioning or a refrigerator nearby? Do a recording, play it back with some good sealed headphones, have a close listen and see if you can hear any background noise. Try some different locations. You can also record yourself in a smaller room, and that will actually reduce some noise as well. Closer mic placement. So you want to bring your microphone pretty close to your mouth, about 10 or 15 centimeters, and that means your voice is closer to the microphone than all of the background. So that'll bring your vocals up higher in the mix. And the other thing is to remember, capture some silence. I do this every time I do any audio recording or video recording, just as a backup. Even if I don't need to do any noise reduction, it's good to have that space before and after so you can capture a noise print. Okay, so that about does it, guys. What we're going to do is we're going to send you all the link of this recording of the stream, and we'll send you these two files. Have a go at it. I find it really satisfying because it's a little bit magical and it's really quick result just from doing some quick settings. So thank you all for joining, and if you have any other ideas for any projects and you might want some quick ideas or some quick examples on things, send us a message and let us know. Thanks, everybody. See ya.